shots, but they're all far too relaxed for my money. Far too relaxed. Another round there for Briggs. Don't expect Fields to win too many. Let's take a fresh look at this one with my rose-coloured glasses on and suggest that Sedreck Fields is in fact a young man of 28 years of age with a 50-50 record, being pitched in against a former world title challenger, in fact a former linear heavyweight champion, and he's doing so well. Rose-coloured glasses off again, and we see Shannon Briggs going through the motions here in a glorified sparring session against a man who hasn't got a hope in hell in the shape of Sedreck Fields, but they've got to keep Briggs busy, and it's the second time in a row that Briggs has had a patsy. Well, Briggs, they're warned for a couple of shots on the borderline. And when was the last time you saw, apart from, of course, Briggs' last fight, which was fairly disgraceful, but, you know, the last time you saw a world-class heavyweight like Briggs throwing a punch without any bad intentions whatsoever? There's no weight behind these shots at all, and it is easy to make them look good to the crowd as well. I suspect, though, that most of the people here now probably sussed this one out, or at least they should have done. New York fight crowds, of course, very knowledgeable. Or at least they used to be. These days, of course, we're lots of people being fed a diet of absolute rubbish that masquerades as championship fights. Although this isn't a title fight, it's only an 8-rounder. And sometimes, of course, especially for the younger fight fan, it's difficult to know what quality is these days. And that's a great shame, judging by the amount of emails I get from what I suspect are younger people talking absolute nonsense. Once again, there Briggs just very lightly tapping Fields on the face. And normally, you see, the body is not a no-go area. You can normally whack as hard as you like downstairs because it doesn't have the same cumulative effect. And if you can't take it, then fair enough. But the rule is generally in a carry job like this that you don't hit specifically hard to the head, but you can down to the body. And again, Briggs here just flicking out those shots. Fields allowed to do what he's doing at the moment. Well, once again, Fields very relaxed, going through the motions in front of this New York crowd. Of course, the form book says that there's no way on this planet that if this were a serious encounter that Fields could possibly win it, or let's face it, would still be there after 2 or 3 rounds. The one draw, by the way, in the record of Briggs was that very hotly disputed decision with Francois Botha, who will face Lennox Lewis next, of course. And I'm not really having a pop here at either of these two men. Not nearly as much as I would have a go at Riddick Bowe when he was champion. Goodness me, the 2 defences he made of the title against Jesse Ferguson and Michael Dokes, I mean, they just beg a belief. So as good as Riddick Bowe was, especially beating Evander Holyfield on 2 occasions, he will not go down in history as a great heavyweight champion. And I'm not too sure that Briggs will ever go down in history as a heavyweight champion, although, as I say, he has ability.
After the third or fourth round, he belongs to me. And that's what I do know. He belongs to me.
Well, a little inset there of Sedreck Fields talking absolute baloney. Well, little right on the top of the head from Briggs, possibly. Well, now Briggs doing a bit of showboating here with these bigger punches. Occasionally, of course, you have to. Still Fields relaxes and walks forward.
Step out, step out.
Far too easy this for Fields. So we had a decent rally from Fields in this fifth round, but once again it's going to go to Briggs. Yes, it's going to go to Briggs, although Fields raises his arms at the end of that one. A little bit of news about Briggs, by the way. He was a good amateur, but he's a fairly inconsistent performer, and one of his weaknesses is the fact that he lacks a touch of stamina as well, which is slightly surprising when you consider how well he's built. Into round 6 then. Everything so far Briggs' way. And you know, the great thing about having no pressure is that you can tend to perform well above your normal expectations. You know, you can spar with a world champion in a gymnasium knowing that he's not going to really crack you on the chin if he could. And you know, you can tend to look reasonably good against some top-class fighters because you're relaxed knowing that there's nothing serious going to come your way. And I think that's what's happening here for Fields. He's, I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't think he looks good. But it looks better than he might have done if this were a serious fight. Once again, nice soft little punches from Briggs, as you can see here. Nothing serious. And for all we know, of course, Fields could well be a paid sparring partner of Shannon Briggs. So they will have been through all this before. They know each other inside out. That has, of course, happened many times in the past. Sparring partners end up as opponents. And they're not too far apart. Fields from Richmond, Virginia. Briggs, of course, from Brooklyn, New York. So not a million miles between these two. And again, just these little punches slotted in from Briggs. And they're the ones that give the game away. Only 2 stoppage losses on the record of Sedreck Fields. Well, Fields now winging those big shots. He's only a small man in comparison, of course. And Briggs quite happy just to ride these punches. And I'm still not going to give Fields a round, and I still really don't want to give Briggs a round either. But I will. Penultimate round coming up then. Shannon Briggs. Well, what can I say? I've kind of dug a hole for myself, really. So if it's not true, what I've been saying about this particular match, it sounds reasonably ridiculous. But, you know, as I say, I'm almost convinced it is.
Come on. Let's go. Wipe it up now. Jimmy.
Shannon Briggs, then 29 years of age. Still probably 5 or 6 years left in the tank. And there's still a chance that, you know, politics permitting and connections permitting, that he actually could do something